Welcome to Law You Should Know. The law affects every aspect of our lives, our home, our jobs, and our recreational activities. Now you can learn about the law and how to protect yourself against the loss of your liberty or property. Learn how to stand up for your rights and seek compensation when you have been wronged. Your host for Law You Should Know is attorney Kenneth J. Landau with the Mineola Law Firm of Shane, Dox, Denisi, and Corker. He's a member of the Committee on Professional Ethics of the Bar Association of Nassau County and counsel to the Nassau Academy of Law. And now, here is your host for Law You Should Know, attorney Kenneth J. Landau.
Hi, this is Ken Landau, and welcome to Law You Should Know. Tonight, we're going to interview a franchise owner about owning a franchise. And our guest is Gayle Charlack, and she owns a Tutor Doctor franchise. And in a few minutes, you'll learn about her experiences in becoming a franchise owner and in operating a successful franchise. Gayle, welcome to Law You Should Know.
Thanks, Ken. It's very nice to be here.
And what made you, how long have you had the Tutor Doctor franchise?
7 years we've been in business with Tutor Doctor.
And what made you decide to own a franchise?
My husband and I were looking for an opportunity to do something that would give us the chance to work independently and create something that we could manage around our personal schedules. And we looked at various franchises and found that Tutor Doctor was a good fit for our needs and our lifestyle.
And why was Tutor Doctor a good franchise for you?
Well, my husband and I both have backgrounds in business. We both have MBAs, and I teach, and I have been teaching since way before we started the franchise, so our experiences meshed well with the understanding of what students need in education.
And are you glad you chose that type of franchise?
Absolutely. That's something we've never said, hey, we should have gone with that other franchise. No,
and are you able to expand your franchise? Is that one option that franchise owners have?
Yes, I own a single territory in Tutor Doctor. There's another Tutor Doctor on Long Island that owns 2 territories. And there are places where folks own even 9 or 10 territories. But one territory has worked fine for us.
And what exactly is your territory?
The towns in our territory are Plainview, Syosset, Woodbury, Cold Spring Harbor, Huntington, Greenlawn, and Centerport.
And what type of tutoring does your Tutor Doctor franchise do, and how has it expanded over the years?
We do all sorts of tutoring. We work with elementary students on Common Core math, on reading comprehension. We work with middle and high school students very often on science and math, and also on reading and social studies subjects. We work with college students. In the summer, we see a lot of college students doing the speedy 5-week organic chemistry course, and we help them get through that. And we also, in the summer, work with a lot of students preparing for GRE or GMAT exams.
And I guess also during the summer, you help kids stay up to speed on some of those subjects they've learned, and so they don't forget or lose their potential over the summer.
Absolutely. We call it the summer slide, and we like to avoid it. So for kids who were finishing, say, 2nd grade, if we keep them reading and doing math once or twice a week over the summer, when they walk into school in September, they feel confident and strong, and they are right where they need to be.
And what are some of the more popular subjects you are asked to tutor?
About half of our franchise, our clients do SAT and ACT prep with us. And then the other half is everything from elementary, middle school, high school, college, and we work with adults as well.
And what types of things are you asked to tutor adults in?
The most common, we've actually worked with some grandparents who wanted to be able to use Facebook so they could see their grandkids, and some more professional types of software like Excel. And most commonly, adults have asked us to work with them on language if they're planning for a big trip. So we've done Italian, we've done Spanish, French with adult students.
And so I guess you also tutor parents or grandparents so they can help their children with their homework?
Well, a lot of times parents ask us to come work with their kids because of the dynamic between parents and children. There can be a little tension. So, yes, we can help parents understand the math that their first graders are doing, it's a funny situation with Common Core. Sometimes that's the call we get. We don't understand the elementary school math. But more often we're working directly with the kids.
And where do you recruit your tutors from? What credentials or skills do you look for in a tutor?
Our tutors really are a wide range of folks from all different backgrounds. I would say 85% of our tutors have at least a master's degree, but we do have some tutors who are college students. Expertise in their subject matter is the most important thing for math and science tutors, whereas for elementary kids, we typically work with elementary educators who have that specific background.
And aside from knowledge, do you want your tutors to be able to convey information and to have the teaching skills?
Of course. So some folks are really brilliant at biology, but if they're not able to take that understanding and break it down into bite-sized pieces to help someone else understand it, then they're not going to be a good tutor. And
you've met other franchise owners in your years of travel or experience.
Sure.
What are some of their backgrounds? Is there any commonality between them?
In Tutor Doctor, it's interesting. The backgrounds of franchise owners really run the gamut. There are former teachers or even current teachers. There are actually lawyers who own the Tutor Doctor franchise, folks who worked on Wall Street, had very high-pressure jobs, enjoy having the opportunity to work in a job where they can work closely with young families and set their own schedules and have a more comfortable pace.
And I imagine the work is a little bit flexible, so tutors can tutor at their experience at their when they can, and the students can receive tutoring when they're available.
Right. So we allow our clients and our tutors to work together to set their schedules.
And initially, in starting a franchise, do you have to are there certain legal documents you have to sign? And let's say an investment they have to make?
Yes, so it's a very big contract that sits in my office at home. 7 years ago, I guess I read a lot of it, but we did work with an attorney at that time to go through the whole thing and understand it.
And do you feel it's a good idea for someone considering a franchise to hire an attorney at least for a consultation?
Oh, absolutely. You're committing to a major part of your life. So, yes, there was a certain financial obligation for our franchise. It was fairly reasonable because we don't have a brick-and-mortar facility. But we signed a 10-year contract, and you certainly want a lawyer to make sure everything makes sense.
And from your experience or your experience owning a franchise, are these things negotiable, or it's basically a basic contract, certain things the franchise owner wants, or are there any negotiating points?
There is a standard contract that was brought to us, and there were certain terms that we weren't comfortable with, and we were able to have written out of our franchise agreement.
And if you want to have the right to open other units or cover adjacent territory, that can also be handled at the time of your initial purchase.
Yes, actually, when we bought our one territory, I think we were offered the opportunity to buy two more for the price of one, which we decided not to do at that time. But we could certainly buy more territories at any point.
Any other tips for those initial stages?
When you're getting started with
yes, and then we'll talk in a moment about getting it started. What you have to do initially to operate a franchise.
Well, in the franchise that I own, in Tutor Doctor, we had a lot of support from our home office. We had folks who helped us through certain stages. We had weekly meetings, and we had the opportunity to work with other people who had invested in the franchise before us and were a little further along, which I think is one of the nicest benefits of a franchise versus starting a business alone.
And do you think it's valuable to speak to existing owners before saying
investing?
yes?
Yeah, we did speak to quite a few owners locally to the New York area and all over the country before we made the final decision.
And many of them offer help in getting started?
Yeah, we are lucky to be part of a very nice franchise community, and we have a lot of methods of communication. There's all sorts of franchise-friendly Facebook groups. We sometimes help each other if we need a tutor for a very esoteric subject and just for all kinds of questions.
Okay. Did you have any other thoughts? We'll talk about how it is operating the business and consulting with your fellow franchise owners for advice. Do you have any other insight or tips in the initial stages for picking out a franchise, reviewing the agreement before you're ready to start the business?
Well, I think for me, it's best to find a franchise that matches your values. Initially, we worked with a franchise consultant, and they brought us a few options. We looked at a bowling alley and a barber shop, and that didn't really feel like who we were. We actually looked at a home health company, and we looked at the tutoring, and tutoring was a good match for us as parents and active community members, and for me as an educator.
And is that all those things and your contacts helped you in operating the business as a source of business or tutors?
Well, one of the things we do is we do a lot of networking, which is a great way to be involved in the community and also to find new clients and new tutors.
And we'll talk more about operating the business and promoting a business such as yours and your type of franchise. Does the national office do some marketing for you to spread the name of Tutor Doctor out there and the services you provide?
They do. We have our resource library has all sorts of materials that we're able to access and edit to make to fit locally that we can use in social media and in print and in event marketing.
And do you have some regional organization for the franchise owners?
Yeah, I'm actually part of Tutor Doctor's Northeast region, and we have a franchise advisor who works with us specifically on issues that are more local.
And as part of that, are you able to encourage marketing that may work better in a place like Long Island or in the Northeast?
Yes, we do tend to think we're a little different over here in the Northeast.
We're going to take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of the issues and challenges and solutions in operating a franchise. But my guest is Gayle Charlack, and she operates a Tutor Doctor franchise here in various parts of Long Island. And you'll find out about more contacting her a little bit later. You're listening to Law You Should Know on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, and also at nccradio.org. We'll be back in a moment.
This program is brought to you by Nassau Community College, which offers a paralegal studies program. Students can major in paralegal studies while earning their associate's degree, or earn a paralegal certificate if they already have a college degree. These programs can even help you start a second career as a paralegal. It's a program for anyone who wants to work in a law office assisting lawyers, the government, or a position in an insurance company. More information about full-time, part-time, days, evenings, weekends, or online courses is available by calling 516-572-7774 or by email at paralegal@ncc.edu.
Once again, we continue with Law You Should Know. From the Mineola Law Firm of Shane, Dox, Denise, Corker, and Sauer, here is attorney Kenneth J. Landau.
Hi, welcome back to Law You Should Know. We're talking about owning a franchise, and our guest is Gayle Charlack, and she's the owner of a Tutor Doctor franchise on Long Island. As you've heard, she offers tutoring in all kinds of subjects for people young and old.